sex just gets so much better if you leave your ego at the door.
Outside
Leave ego and shame outside the door. Okay, this is a no ego, no shame zone. Only cuddles, snuggles, love and pleasure in the room.
So hi Lisa.
Hi. Everyone wants orgasm. Like generations of women have probably died without having enough orgasms. You know what I'm saying? We are going to change that.
So the whole idea of this episode is also talk about sex toys.
Yes, now we get to the fun part. Looks like an AirPod.
What are you saying?
But it's a down there pod. Jadugar is the name of one of my toys.
Oh, Jadugar.
Jadugar. This is Jadugar.
Oh, if sex toys could talk, what do you think they'd say?
क्या करो हाय कुछ कुछ होता है.
Are these toys only for women? तो स्वागत है आप सभी का हमारे सीजन 1 ऑफ अब गूगल मत करो यार पे. आज का एपिसोड पूरा सेक्स टॉयज एंड प्लेजर से रिलेटेड होगा. इस एपिसोड के थ्रू हम आपको सिखाएंगे कि सेक्स टॉयज यूज कैसे किया जाता है, सेक्स टॉयज यूज करना सही होता है कि नहीं होता है, ये सिर्फ मेन के लिए है कि विमेन भी यूज कर सकते हैं, मास्टरबेशन एक प्रॉब्लम है या आप रोज कर सकते हैं, और अगर कर सकते हैं तो किस हद तक. ये सब डाउट्स क्लियर करने के लिए आज की स्पेशल गेस्ट लीसा मंगलदास है, जो कि इंडिया की टॉप सेक्स एजुकेटर है. तो आइए उनके साथ ये कॉन्वर्सेशन करते हैं. So hi Lisa.
Hi.
How you been?
I've been great.
And how is life in general?
Life is awesome.
I know you've been very busy with your brand Lisus. How has Lisus been going? You tell me that.
Oh my God. Everyone wants orgasm. Life's been great. I feel very lucky I get to do this and build this thing. It's such a natural extension of all I've been doing. I love toys and lube myself. It's like the only thing I would never have started any other brand. So I'm loving it and I'm learning so much. Every day is a new challenge. I think I thrive on challenges and there is never a dull moment.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel lucky right now.
Now today, Lisa, thank you so much for coming here. The whole idea of this episode is to teach people, a lot of people, everyone is watching this episode, about sex toys and more about pleasure. So there could not be anyone better than you to explain us this.
Thank you.
So starting off with the very first question, Lisa, what do you think about sex education in India? How is it and how is it growing day by day?
I think most of us did not receive formal, comprehensive sex education, right? Unfortunately, it's still not a subject in school that's handled in a sort of expansive way. Maybe you get like the biology lesson where you see the reproductive system diagrams for like 10 minutes, or maybe the teacher skips it. I think nowadays some schools have some health education. It's typically like the girls are going to one room and learning about menstruation and the boys are going to some other. I mean, that's how some schools do it. I think even the government has tried to implement some forms of adolescent health education, but with varying degrees of success. So really, right now, there's still not by any means comprehensive sex education in schools, right? And nobody talks about it at home either.
Yes.
So most people are going to the internet. Google Mat Karo Yaar, right? I mean, the internet did provide more information than the teachers or the parents.
Definitely.
Right? I mean, I feel like that's part of the reason I started my channel, because I wanted to be a source of scientifically accurate, judgment-free sex education that you can rely on, and I think people wanted that. I think a lot of like policy if you're looking at some family planning video or UN video or whatever, too often the person delivering the message is like, meh, 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 meh,
Yes.
as if they don't have sex,
Yes.
They're just telling you, like, there's still like fear and shame and kind of judgment too often, even from the people who are like the authorities.
Authority.
So I think peer-to-peer education has been something that has grown. Porn tends to be most people's sex education at this point, actually. So I really want to find a way to make sex education as easy to find as porn. So hopefully you get someone who feels like a big sister, like telling you some stuff that's accurate.
And I think you've been helping all of us with that, Lisa. Like I personally have been following your content, okay? And this is not just for the cameras, okay? This like in person. I've been following your content and I have learned a lot myself. Okay, because the whole idea I also wanted to do this episode is when I was a teenager and when I was having sex for the very first time, I think the all the questions were going in my head. Okay, how do I wear this condom? Okay, is this right? Is this wrong? So I think people like you, when you've entered this industry, I think you have created this industry of sex education. Okay, and I'm so happy to say that because you are one of those people who have really been a major part of this sex education industry. We can call it an industry now. Okay, so how has this been so far, teaching sex education to people, and how has it been for you, and how have people taken it?
I am just so delighted that people are extremely open, and the most common type of messaging that I would receive was just like, "Thank you, Didi. This is so
Wow.
helpful. I learned something. I'm grateful for this." Of course, there's people who also would, I get like the chup randi or something, but I don't let that get to me. The gratitude and the like, yes, I relate to this. I want this. I needed this. This is great. Was much, much, much more than any of the naysayers or the people who were triggered by seeing a woman, Indian woman, talk about sex. So I think overall, like, young people want to be able to talk about this stuff openly. They want to be able to access information, products that'll help make their experiences safer. Like, why should it be embarrassing to buy condoms? It should not
Absolutely.
be embarrassing to buy condoms.
Absolutely.
You deserve applause for buying condoms. Good on you for being responsible and proactive about your safety, right? So I feel like for the most part, everything I say is factual. I rarely bring opinion into it, actually. It's hard to debate me. Like, you want to disagree with me? Fine, but like, I'm right. So,
I
you know
love
what
that.
I mean? Just like, I try and keep religion out of it. I try and keep politics out of it. I try and keep anything that's divisive out of it. It's because I'm really interested in first establishing, like, this is just how things are. If you don't agree with me, you need to do some unlearning or think about why you don't agree with me. Because I'm not saying anything that's subjective for the most
Yes,
part.
yes, yes.
Most of what I say is objective. You just don't know it yet, maybe. And I'm trying to make it easier for you to understand and
You
also
are.
helping you dismantle shame. Most of us view objective facts with a lot of shame. When it comes to the body and sexuality, facts are facts. Why should a fact be shameful?
Factually true.
So so dismantling shame, celebrating pleasure, making information really accessible, and also, like, growing up, we didn't see like Indians talking about sex or having sex, or like even in the movies there was, it seemed only like thin white people have sex.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. And so I think it's really important for us to like think about our sexuality with other people who look like us and have had our experiences, like having those conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
do I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
go to some non-Indian person for this information? And before, there were so few Indians who were
Who were
talking
talking
about
about this?
this and contextualizing it to our cultural context. And just even like, I'm an unmarried Indian woman who talks about sex. I feel like that's pretty fucking radical.
It is.
And there's so many other people who want to, and marriage also being the only like respectable context within which sex can be had. For unmarried people to talk about want or have sex in
Exactly.
India, that only was taboo, you know. So I think so many people, like, there's so many people who feel the same way.
And I think when you talk about this, I remember one of these incidences from school, Lisa. Okay, where I think the first time they started teaching sex education in school, not exactly sex education, but like maybe about sperms or something. It was in 7th grade, and I remember teacher, the teacher of biology teaching us on the blackboard and quickly writing sperm and not even looking at us
I know.
and just finishing it off and like, okay, class khatam. So that how bad the system was in school, and I think a lot of schools are trying to adapt that. And apart from schools, people like you are teaching us so much.
Thank
So
you.
how does, I'm sure in this whole journey, Lisa, you keep getting, as you mentioned, those bad words over the good words as well. So what is the weightage of good words over the bad
Way
words?
more good words, like way more, like 9 out of 10 good words. I think that people privately really, really, really want to support me, right? Many people, unfortunately, their own families or parents or someone follows them on Instagram, so they can't share it on their stories, some video about sex or whatever. But I get love letters in my DMs. I wake up to love letters every day from people of all genders, just being like, "Oh my God, I had this amazing experience with my partner yesterday because we learned something together on your page. Thank you. Like we experienced this new thing, or I learned about my body in this way that I never even knew to think before I started following you. I used to feel ashamed about all of these things, and now I realize they're normal." Or like people who use that product every day, I'll get like 10 or 15 messages from people being like, "I had my first orgasm with Pyari. I had my first orgasm with, Nutcut or whatever." And it makes me so happy that I'm able to, in this whatever way, I'm somehow like mad. I never would have imagined this would be my career. Like I, couldn't have known 15 years ago or something that like I'm gonna be able to be a sexuality educator on the internet and have a sexual wellness brand and reach millions of people. I never would have thought that. It just happened. And I feel so lucky because I think joyful sex is one of the most amazing experiences in the world. And so few people actually get to access that at one level, and especially historically in our society where women's sexuality, queer sexuality has been so scrutinized, penalized. Like it's not even okay to navigate your sexuality as a woman or a queer person.
Right.
And so like generations of women have probably died without having enough orgasms. You know what I'm saying? We are going to change that.
I'll tell you about this. Yesterday I was talking to one of my friends. She's attending a course in Goa. Okay, so it's a mixed group of around 20 women together. So out of which there are women aged 42, 45. So this is exactly what my friend told me last night. I'm not even kidding. She told me, Shanky, we always speaking about orgasm, sex and all of those things. There are women aged 42, 45. They said, we don't know what is orgasm.
I know. I get messages all the time from people who've been like, I've been married 10 years. I have 2 kids. I don't think I've ever had an orgasm. Or, I just stare at the ceiling fan waiting for it to get over with. How can I experience pleasure? Or, like an absence of pleasure during sex and also discomfort or pain during sex are 2 of the most common concerns for women, because women's pleasure is not really something that people learn about. Women don't even learn about it, and men definitely don't learn about it. So many people end up having sex thinking that penetration is the be all and end all, when penetration doesn't result in pleasure for women if it's not accompanied by foreplay and clitoral stimulation. Typically, there might be some women who really enjoy just penetration, but for the vast majority of women, like clitoral stimulation is central to orgasm. And also, you have to be relaxed and feel safe and respected and loved. And there's so much more to sex than it's not just a physical activity. And I don't think we get to talk about the things that make us feel safe and relaxed and desired. And you know what I mean? You don't just lie there and let things happen to you. But sex is something that's supposed to just happen to women. We're not supposed to say no to it, right? Marital rape is still legal in this country. You're not supposed to say yes to it either. Premarital sex is frowned upon. So you're just supposed to let it happen to you as a woman, which is fucking bullshit. Like the absence of agency, I think, is the biggest issue when it comes to women's sexuality. And the common concerns that I get from women. But with men, it's like a lack of access. Like most men are like, I've never had sex. I wish I could have sex. Who is ever going to have sex with me? And I think both these problems actually compound each other. If you're going to keep treating women this way, why would they want to have sex with you, man?
Absolutely.
So, and if you keep punishing women for having sex, like the idea of women having sex because they like it or want it or before marriage, it's so stigmatized, and then all these unmarried men are wondering why no one wants to sleep with them. If you stop judging women and stop making them feel unsafe, maybe they'll sleep with you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
that is
like
so
the
true.
Problems compound each, and if you prioritize their pleasure, like why would I do something that doesn't even feel good?
Going forward, the stigma around sex is going to change, the sex education. Do you think Indians are going to bring sex education into their system? Schools are going to adopt it. Do you think that?
A girl can dream. It's funny when you look at how things are moving around the world. You look at the US, for example, the self-proclaimed center of the free world. 50 years after achieving the legalization of abortion, they are trying to criminalize it, ban it. So, which is absurd, right? I mean, the US is just like going backward. So I would hope that we are able to continuously move forward. That I wish progress was linear and we just get better and better and better. But it's funny how sometimes when you
We are
have a
going-
small win, some people like don't want that change, and then they fight to go backward. So I think it's a bit. I hope that in general we will keep moving forward. I hope even in the US that people don't let this shit happen. But it's funny when you see like advanced or more developed countries going backward. You're like, dude. So I hope that we go forward. Sometimes it doesn't seem like everybody wants to move forward, or people's definitions of forward are different. But I really hope that younger people and that men, honestly, I feel like men have to be part of this change. Men see sexuality as like women and queer people's problem, like all this feminism, gay mein, LGBT, mera kya hai isme? But men need to be part of the solution and see this as a human issue. And actually they have so much to gain also, like this whole system of limited rights for some people does not serve men either. It would be a better world, a more expansive, joyful world where sex is easier to access and more fun, and where you can see everybody as an equal instead of looking down on half the population. That there's something to gain from that as well. So I really I invite men to participate more instead of seeing these things as other people's issues.
So there's some people, say everyone who's listening to this podcast, and they are not very open to it. But if there are few words from your end, what would you tell them?
To the men watching?
To the men watching and who really want to be a part of this change, but maybe they're a little hesitant somewhere. So
you can't be hesitant. I love men. I really do. I think that it's unfortunate that whenever a woman criticizes patriarchy or a certain behavior that men have been socialized to partake in, then they go, oh, feminism, like men get very triggered and like, oh, not all men and stuff. Like, no, dude, I really like men. I really do. Sadly, I'm attracted to men. I've loved men, and I know some good men. And I think I would like to believe that all men are capable of better. I think the bar is extremely low. I think that, unfortunately, we have so much internalized misogyny that families even raise their male child. It's like there's such a, how should I say, societal pressure to give birth to a boy child that then they get this special status ever since they just roll out of bed and it's like, me, guchu, muchu,
Yeah.
You're just so coddled from such a young age into believing you're God's gift to mankind because the whole world, including your mother and the whole family and everything, is like men get some special status still in society and in people's households. To this day, female infanticide is a thing, man.
Absolutely.
Let's look at the facts, okay, before we say not all men and get all triggered in the comments. We're living in a country where female fetuses are killed before they get to be birthed for the gender of the fetus. Think about that, right? Where so many aspects of it's just not a level playing field. It is stupid to not acknowledge that. That doesn't make men bad or all men bad, but it is not a level playing field. For you to be blind to the fact that there's a gap that needs to be bridged and that you have to help bridge that gap.
Absolutely.
It's just come on. And also, I think that you have to recognize that you have so much to gain here. Do you want to have all these pressures that ideas of masculinity put on your head? Do you want your self-worth to be linked only to how much money you make, how much land you have? All this stuff about being the provider and never being able to cry or express emotion or never being able to ask for help. Do you like that shit?
I know what you mean.
It's not great for you either. So if we all dismantle most of the stuff all of us have been told about gender, sexuality, is all rubbish. We would all be so much happier and able to have such a lot of openness and empathy and kindness in our lives if we dismantled all of that. Really thought about who are you really? Are we even that different? What makes a man and a woman so different actually? Are we that different? We're not actually that different. We conform to these differences that ideas of gender have made us believe we must conform to. So I must learn to cook and be pleasant and beautiful and be nice all the time and stuff, and you must be strong and
financially
have a
independent,
really good,
a lot of money.
But don't we both want to be loved and understood and appreciated and cared for, and maybe we want to be creative and we want to play, maybe we want to feel less alone in our lives. We probably have lots of the same goals.
Yes.
Actually,
I think, and for the same, Lisa, I think being a man here, sitting here, talking to you, I have got a lot of backlashes where, say, example, there was a time sometimes I apply nail paints. Okay, there are people on the comments coming on me saying like, "Oh, why are you behaving like a woman here? Okay, be a man, be a man." There are, say, LGBTQ events I be a part of because I really want to be a part of. So whenever I'm doing these things and whenever I'm being a little more vulnerable, trying to talk out to the people saying that, okay, being a man, I'm also facing all of this. All the people out there, they think that, okay, you are being a woman now. And they start commenting bad, they start saying bad things. And I think this has to change.
Yeah.
A lot of things have to change until and unless we keep an open mind about all the things that you mentioned. I think as Indians or as just a human, we are not going to grow.
Even the world, all over the world.
All over the world.
Yeah.
So saying that, Lisa, I think we also, the whole idea of this episode is also talk a lot and know more about sex toys.
Yes, now we get to the fun part.
Lisa, starting off with you have your
My bag of toys.
bag of toys, bag of happiness, I would say that.
Yes,
Okay.
bag of joy.
So starting off with the very general question, Lisa, what is sex toys if you have to explain to people who do not know?
So sex toys are just technology, right? Anything that makes your life or some task easier and more efficiently done is technology, right? So, for example, even a lemon squeezer is a form of technology. Instead of squeezing it with your hands, you're making nimbu pani, you use a lemon squeezer, you can make 10 glasses of nimbu pani really easily instead of like squeezing away, right? Or sending an email instead of sending a letter, whatever. Technology exists to make life easier, more efficiently done, make your life better. Yeah. And similarly, sex toys make pleasure more easily and more efficiently achieved. And also more fun. So they're both technology and they're toys. Because adults need to play also. You know? I think the spirit of play is so central to what gives us a feeling of joy in our lives. You know, we don't play enough as adults.
Yes.
And so I really love how toys actually bring in a sense of play into people's bedrooms. I can show you some toys.
Yes, please. Like,
so we can talk more like with examples. I don't know what all to show you. We can have a bunch of toys.
These are so pretty. These are so pretty.
So squishy. That's Tufan, Pyari.
This is Tufan.
That's Tufan Intense, actually. That's Pyari.
And this is
I can tell you about how they work.
Yes.
Here's Bijli, also a really cute toy.
Wow. Okay, first tell me, how did you get the names of these toys?
I wanted the names to be really fun. I want everything about my brand, Lizu's, to be joyful and proudly also capturing a sort of sense that like we're in India. These are, you know, I wanted to give them Indian names. I think people think toys are this Western concept only for like, I don't know, there's a bit of like a mujhse nahi hoga attitude sometimes to toys. Like it's not really for us or something. It's again, like this whole idea that anything to do with sex is Western or imported.
Yes.
And I really wanted it to be like fun and joyful in this way where this is hamare, like it is for us. It's not mujhse nahi hoga.
Now the next question.
And a little cheeky also, like Jadugar is the name of one of my toys.
Oh, Jadugar.
Jadugar. This is Jadugar.
Oh, guys, I'm loving this. First, the color combination, it's perfect.
You like it? Pink
fits
and blue.
In perfectly.
This is nut cut. There's like remote control toy.
Oh, this is a remote control toy.
I think there's too many things in your hands now.
Yeah.
I won't give you any more. Chalo.
So, Lisa, now talking about sex toys, first of all.
It says, Kuch to log kahenge.
Oh my God. So, you want to keep few of them?
Sure. So that you don't have all of them for you. Yeah, I can keep whatever
Perfect.
you want.
I think I'll hold these two.
Okay.
So, the next thing, Lisa. Are these toys only for women or even men can use it?
Oh, no, of course. They're for everybody. This is a stroker for penises and it has a really nice texture inside. It's really squishy and stretchy and soft. And so you like generously apply lube inside. We make this really nice lubricant called Love Jelly. And then you
and
do what you do.
Yeah.
And it feels really, really great because it kind of replicates the sensations of all these things we can't talk about on the internet, but that I think if you use your imagination, you will know what I'm talking about. It Just listen to these sounds. It's so squishy.
Oh yes.
And
you wanna
then,
li-
but you got to put lube in there. Put your finger in there, even with the lube. There's no lube right now, right? It's dry. The key to using a stroker like this is using lots of lube, and
So
it
that
feels
is the
amazing.
that is the male stroker.
Yeah,
again.
this is like a really simple. This is like one of the most, one of the best-selling types of men's toys in the world. Like different international brands make variants of a non-electric male stroker. It's just so popular because it's so simple but so effective.
So effective.
So simple. You can wash it. You can take it anywhere. It's pretty affordable as well, and it just elevates the experience.
So those are for men again, and the
Or
other
like
one,
anyone with a penis. Yeah.
anyone with a penis, and
This is
other
Pyari, which is like really, really, really fun product for people with vulvas. There's 2 types of clitoral stimulation that it can provide. There's suction and vibration. I can show you what it feels like. And I think most people underestimate how central to female pleasure clitoral stimulation is. And so many women even have never had an orgasm. So many people write to me being like they got their first orgasm with Pyari.
Oh wow. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The whole
There's
hand
like-
is vibrating.
There's
The whole
lots of modes. And then there's also the vibration. And basically, yeah, you can put it like this. Or it's a bit gentler.
Oh wow.
But you can, so it's primarily for clitoral stimulation, but you could like see how you like it to feel anywhere, you know. And I think even some men have used this with their girlfriends and been like, oh, I
Yes.
liked how that felt on my balls.
Yes.
Or like, I like, you know, the nice thing about toys is that you use your imagination and you play with them.
Yes.
They might have a primary purpose, like that is primarily a clitoral stimulator, but it's going to feel nice on people's nipples. It's going to feel nice. You know, things feel like a toy like this also might feel nice on his body and her body.
Oh, and what is this used for
This
again?
is Bijli. This is like a mini wand basically, and the whole head vibrates. So it's also primarily for clitoral stimulation. You can even use it over your pants.
Right.
So most people don't even realize this. Most people are like, clitoral stimulation, how does that work? But you got to, like, I think most people have not looked at a vulva closely enough, whether even if they have one,
Yes.
taken a mirror, looked there, figured out what is what. But basically, vibration against the clitoris or suction against the clitoris is like a one-stop shop to orgasm town. Believe
Now,
me.
if you have to keep 3 points, Lisa, okay, 3 points for everyone. 3 points. Oh, just how do I?
No, the buttons on the side. And then, yeah, you got to just,
Okay.
it just went here, if you want to see this. And then this is internal. This is for internal stimulation, and using clitoral and internal together can be
Together.
like, you will see stars. Oh, I love these products. I really do. Genuinely
see
love
this
them.
one?
Yeah, of course. This is the power button.
This is the power button.
Long press to power on.
Oh my god! This is so cool.
That's Jadugar, and the handle.
This is
makes
actually Jadugar.
It is,
This
it
is actually a Jadu here.
the handle makes it easy to hold and move, and
Like
you know.
this.
Yeah, however you like to. But yeah, basically that's a handle. And then there's Nutcut, which is like a remote control toy with internal and external stimulation, and your partner can control it and stuff. So that's pretty cool too.
Amazing.
It's really fun.
These are
Like
so
that.
cool. So cool.
Yeah.
So now, Lisa, for
Hmm.
anyone, people who have not used these toys at all, but they are very open to maybe use it in the future or after seeing this episode, okay? So what are these top 3 points you want to give to anyone, say it men, women, or from any other gender? What are the top 3 points you want to tell them if they use these toys?
So I think a lot of men are threatened by the idea of their partner getting a toy. And I want to tell men, don't be threatened. It's not your competition. It's your collaborator. You know, like, would an accountant be threatened by a calculator? No, he's going to have like 10 calculators. You know, would an artist be threatened by a paintbrush? No, he's going to have like 100 paintbrushes. So you've got to see these as tools, toys that make things fun for both of you, you know. And a lot of, I think men don't realize that toys exist for men, because it is true that tends to be more variety for women.
Exactly.
Because for men, these strokers tend to just be like one of the largest categories, and there's lots of types of strokers. But the way that the male anatomy is like, is kind of like conducive to, I suppose, people think like, oh, you need a vibrating toy for men also. You need a vibrating toy. And there's prostate toys and there's anal toys and things like that. Unfortunately, they're more difficult to import in India because of the obscenity laws. So it's harder for us to offer those. But for penis-related toys, a simple stroker like this, really provides a fantastic experience. And I think the idea that vibration is going to improve the experience is, it might a little, but the cost to benefit ratio is not quite as life altering as men will imagine. Whereas
I
for the
get it.
clitoris, vibration or suction is game changing. It's absolutely game changing. It is just the most effective form of stimulation for the clitoris. You know, when you like the hand, even for a dude, is probably going to make you come. It's less life altering in that way where you maybe never came and now you've come.
I get it.
It's
I
more
know what
like
you're
an
trying to say.
upgrade on like, oh, I never knew it could feel like this, or like it feels more like a body part to use this because it's wet when there's lube in it, and it's really soft and it feels like skin. So it's elevating your experience. It might even make you slow down and be more mindful, and you have to think about like using this as opposed to this now probably automated movement that most
Yes.
men are so used to masturbating. But for women, I feel like sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent.
No.
I feel like this whole thing of vibration and suction and things, that the motorized toys can often really make you experience pleasure you haven't experienced before. So there's that. Like, I feel like just doing your homework on the types of toys and recognizing that some things that might work for some body parts might work particularly well for some body parts, but not others. Like each
I get it.
body part, depending on what you want to stimulate, really has its own thing that works for them. Like I would say, even for internal stimulation for women, vibration is optional. Sometimes I would use Jadugar without putting on the vibration.
Right.
But on the clitoris, suction or vibration is game changing. So yeah, know your toys, do some homework, think about the stimulation you like, and then try and find which product will replicate that for you even better,
Right.
And know that toys exist for men. I think lots of men
Yes,
don't know
they
that.
do not know.
So you can get toys for, like, if you're a couple shopping, it's nice to get for both of you. Like you can there's fun for all basically to be had. What else? I think that people should really also be aware of quality, because these are products that go inside you, and there's a lot of variation in quality in terms of what's available. So you want to go for body safe materials, and ideally also just do some homework on the brand that you're shopping from and whether they are legit or not, because there's a lot of shady fly-by-night kind of operators in this space globally as
Yes,
well,
yes, yes.
unfortunately. So I think just doing a little homework, getting things from places where you can be sure of quality, the fact that the products are tested, the materials used are body safe,
Those
it's
are the
worth.
few.
It's one of those things that's worth doing that little extra homework. The way you would do homework to buy a toaster or iron or washing machine, do
Little
5x
extra.
the homework, na?
Yes,
For this.
Yes, yes.
Come on.
And so anyone like watching this episode again, as Lisa mentioned, if you have not used toys ever, being it man, women, or anyone who's watching this episode, giving a personal experience from my end, please start using toys with your partners, or say individually as well. I think it is a game changer. It definitely is a game changer. Lisa, I really want you to clear this doubt that a lot of men think that using a toy with your partner in bedroom might, maybe in the future, the men won't be able to give the kind of satisfaction what toy gives. So mm, is there a thing that toys can replace men?
No, absolutely not. I think that people should stop seeing this idea also, though, of pleasure as if it's some thing that is like some failure of yours if you weren't able to provide it. Or, I think people are so dishonest in the bedroom with each other
I know.
because there's such an ego attached to it. Like now, let's say you and I are in a relationship, and I want to tell you, like, this is how I like things, but you are doing things a different way. And instead of telling you, I just pretend I really like what you're doing because I don't want to hurt you. But actually, what that does is I have to pretend next time also, and next time, and next time. And suddenly, we've been married 5 years, and like, I'm really not looking forward to making out with you anymore because we're still doing this thing that doesn't even work for me. If I had told you on day one, maybe we'd be having amazing sex right now because
Yes.
we'd have worked on it.
Yes.
If you never say, and both parties don't say because they're too afraid of bruising the other's ego, then you end up having this, sexual dissatisfaction is such a common problem in people's relationships because they don't talk about this stuff. They have this ego attachment to the thing. Oh, we can't use toys, or we can't do things, or we can't. because then I'm not good enough. Like, first, I feel like sex just gets so much better if you leave your ego at the door.
Outside the-
Leave ego and shame outside the door. Okay, this is a no ego, no shame zone. Only cuddles, snuggles, love, and pleasure
That is-
in the room, and openness and imagination and having fun. And I think that when you remove all of that baggage and you're just like, okay, how can the two of us have the best possible time? Like, what can we do today that's going to be something that's just going to make us feel awesome, right? And then you realize, like, whether it's toys or lube or even just feedback in terms of what you're doing with your hands, fingers, mouth, whatever, I think that openness is like a
Very
gateway
important.
to better pleasure. And then it's not that you always have to use toys or you never use toys or whatever. Sometimes you might be in the mood for toys, sometimes you might not. It starts like, it's like sometimes you might want ice cream for dessert, sometimes you want cake, sometimes you don't want dessert. Sometimes you want mithai, but imagine if we thought like mithai is bad, only cake is okay. Or like,
Yeah.
how stupid, right? Like, why would you miss out on ice cream because you think it's going to replace cake?
I love how you're
So
explaining this,
for me,
Lisa.
it's like, dude, so take that idea only out of your head, na? And anyway, ultimately, any of these things are not going to be able to provide what, in my opinion, some of the most beautiful aspects of any kind of sexual experience is like a feeling of connection, a feeling of, two people experiencing something together and bodies interacting in this magical way. And like, these are just devices. They can't do that, right? So they're only tools. They're like helping you do this other thing that's really magical in ways that might make it even more fun.
It's like
But
an icing on
it's
the
like the icing on the cake.
Yes.
Exactly. And it can be so much fun. Like, people don't know what they're missing. I think people really don't know what they're missing till they try them. That was the case for me also.
I get it.
Before I tried a toy, I was like, 10 years ago, I was like, okay. Like, like, the sex is good only. What do I need toys for? But I had never masturbated. And I also didn't know that I didn't know how I could
How
feel.
could you feel?
Like, I was scratching the surface of my pleasure. I used to find it difficult to orgasm. I used to fake orgasm or think like it's like too much to ask. Like, this feels good, like this kissing and whatever we're doing, or even sex, this feels nice. I didn't even know how like explosive, like my third eye opened the first time I used a toy.
That's a really good night.
My third eye opened. I'm telling you, sometimes you don't even know what you don't know what you're missing
Yes.
until you try it.
Until you try it. So I think it is, you don't have to feel scared about, like, summing up this whole conversation. I think you don't have to feel scared about if you're using it with your partner. I think this is just one of the tools. Definitely, you are never going to lose your partner for the sex toys in the bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, coming to
and be a good partner. The only time you're going to lose to the sex toy is if you're be a nice person also, na? Do you know what I mean? If you're going to be mean and horrible to your partner,
absolutely,
then you don't deserve your partner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, coming to the age, Lisa, okay. What age groups can use these toys?
You tell me, how old are people when they start masturbating? We are very squeamish about acknowledging the fact that adolescent sexuality is a thing. So, in India, the age of consent for sex is 18. I respect that. And I think that's actually a pretty good age of consent. Yes. In some countries, it's lower. In some countries, it's higher. But masturbation, it's a relationship that you are having with your own body. No third party is involved. It's actually the safest form of sex, right? Or sexual activity, where there's no danger of infection, pregnancy, not even rejection. In a way, it's a self-soothing behavior. Even very young children will touch their own genitals, even babies. And that's not that it is sexual or something. It is a self-soothing behavior. There's nerves in that area. It feels good in this way that's soothing, the way we might do various, people suck their thumb. There's various self-soothing behaviors. And self-stimulation of the genital areas is just one of them. Or some people, you do this and it feels nice.
It's called gudgudi, like
yeah.
you said in Hindi.
So we unfortunately have such shame around the idea of anything to do with sexuality or the genitals. Parents will teach their children also this is your eyes, nose, mouth, but that's shame. Shame. It's like a euphemism
that
for
is
the
being taught
genitals, right? We've heard this,
yes,
right?
We've heard this.
Or they'll say nunu or something instead of, which is still better than shame. But like, people hardly ever teach the kids the actual body part's name. If you can't name something, or you can't, if something is unspeakable, unnameable, you get this idea from such a young age it's bad and shameful. But the fact is actually that people deserve to know that these are normal behaviors and that masturbation is not a crime. It's actually a healthy behavior even. And so but I want to, I want to get in any trouble here because I do want to respect the laws of the land and things. And I don't think there's actually laws around this. But one could argue that actually, and in other countries where there's more freedom around discussions of this as well as access to this, we do not sell to people over 21.
Yeah. 18.
Technically, we don't sell. There's an age gate on our website, and you have to confirm that you're 21 years old to purchase our products because we want to do everything keeping in mind cultural and legal sentiments here.
It.
But, people will masturbate with their hands or fingers or whatever at much younger ages as well, right? We know this. To deny it is stupid. So I am not here to tell you what age to masturbate. I actually was very late to masturbate. I masturbated for the first time at 27. Crazy. I was sexually active at 18, but I only bothered to touch myself much later. And I think there's a lot of shame around masturbation for women. And it's funny how it's just something sometimes people haven't ended up doing. Better late than never. And I made up for lost time.
Oh my God.
But it's a funny one, right? So who am I there's no right age or wrong age. But I think that masturbation, because it's only with yourself, is something that we must not shame people about. Like, it's quite normal and okay and healthy at any age, and it happens at many ages.
Yes.
And young and old and whatever. I feel like masturbation can't be bucketed in the same thing as partnered sex, because there's not this problem of consent or abuse, or do you know what I mean, in the way that I think you have to be much more cautious around involving another person.
A lot of people talk about not masturbating to keep yourself very focused. What do you think about that?
I think that people have a lot of shame around anything to do with sexuality. So the arguments about anything to do with sexuality get a bit skewed. So I could tell you, don't dance too much, okay? It'll challenge your focus. Don't dance, don't swim too much also. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your studies. If you spend 24 hours dancing or swimming, it probably won't be very good for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
If you dance 2 hours a day, it's probably okay for you.
Good, yeah.
It's probably good for you,
Yes.
in fact. So it's funny how people think 1 hour of masturbation is going to be bad for your focus somehow, but they wouldn't make that they wouldn't have that statement around dancing or swimming. 1 hour of this is actually probably quite good for you. Yeah. If you're doing it for 12 hours, probably not so good for you, right? So, because anything, it's not even good for you to work for 15 hours a day, dude. You need to rest, you need to sleep, you need to eat, you need to be with your family. Life is about balance. Too much of a good thing also is not good for you. If you can die from drinking too much water. If I drank 70 liters of water today, that would be bad for me. Yes. Even though we're hearing all the time you should drink more water, because most of us don't even drink the 1 liter. So it's a funny one where you've got to put things in perspective. People just think anything to do with sex and pleasure and masturbation, bad. No, dude, it's actually sexuality and being able to experience joy, pleasure, orgasm is actually it has many health benefits: improved mood, improved sleep, more satisfaction in your life. Like exercise, it's in many ways the benefits are very similar to exercise. Yes. Going for a run, even if you go for 20 minutes, you probably have a better day. Similarly, sexual activity, whether solo or partner, tends to add to your overall well-being, and you can look up scientific research on this. I'm not making this up. People will tell me, you're making this up. I'm like, dude, please verify. Where? What planet are you on?
So, अब तुम्हें Google करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, because she's telling a lot of things. Yeah. So anyone who thinks that masturbating is a sin or it is not good for health, and a lot of people on internet, they talk about this. I think, as she said, there has to be a balance in everything. Excessive of anything in life is bad.
And I think also people unfortunately bracket masturbation and porn together as if they cannot be separated. And there's ethical porn out there, and I'm not here to make too much of an argument about porn, but I don't watch porn. I love to masturbate though. And I think that it's worth separating those two. Even the NoFap movement was actually an anti-porn consumption movement.
Okay.
And it gets thought of as an anti-masturbation movement. But actually, with it, when you masturbate, there's kind of like an inbuilt mechanism where you can't just keep going. You're going to need a break, okay?
Yes.
You are going to need a break. Like dancing or swimming or anything. We
Anything,
can't
yes.
just keep doing a vigorous physical activity. Our body needs a break. And normally you do it, you enjoy it, you finish, and you move on. With media, and this is not just porn, actually, it's a symptom of internet media. All of the various media platforms, including Instagram, which I use so much and so do you, it is designed to keep you there, to not stop and take that break. Keep scrolling. New stuff keeps coming your way. It'll never stop coming. You sit here and there will be more and more and more for you to watch, more and more shocking, more and more catered to your preferences, more and more clickbaity, more and more and more and more and more. And porn follows that same format on the internet, right? You can sit there watching porn because it's going to autoplay and a more shocking clip is going to come. And you came like 2 hours ago, but you're still watching porn. So I think being mindful of media and the fact that digital media is designed to keep you there. It is the attention economy. Large scale, I won't take brand names here, but large scale what's it called? OTT platforms say that their biggest competition is sleep. Their biggest competition is sleep. They are competing with your sleep. Do you notice the sign that says, "Are you still awake?" Right? Why is it auto-playing you on the next show? So whether it's porn, whether it's social media, whether it's OTT, whatever, your attention is the most valuable commodity. This is how all the digital platforms are making their money. So you should be mindful about how you consume media. And I think porn is particularly good at keeping you there because it's so much new stimulation that's sexual. Sexual is very powerful. It's entertaining. It's like, so I think people find that they have a compulsive relationship with pornography, which then they can think about and try to consume it more mindfully or consume less of it or take a break or whatever. But it's sad that gets conflated with masturbation. It's like if I happen to enjoy listening to music while I scroll on Instagram, is the music what's keeping me, like, what's the problem, or is it the Instagram? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, and I'm a bit addicted to Instagram. I feel,
You are?
I don't watch porn at all. Not addicted, but aren't we all?
All of us.
You know
yes.
what I mean? Especially when you're a creator, you end up like tracking your own stats, how many likes, how many
every day,
and
every
you recognize
minute.
and you read. And I want to be more mindful about how I use social media, and I don't use it as much as I used to, and I don't even create as much content as I used to, because I'm like, you need to have a balance. This moment it feels like this thing has more control over me than I have over it, whether it's sugar, coffee, Instagram, or even whatever. I mean,
Anything in the world.
right? Anything. But so I feel like it's good to be mindful
About all of this.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, like especially targeting this few people, keeping in mind that there are a lot of people who have been married or not married and been together for a very long time, say 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, and they keep losing the spark in the bedroom. Do you think these sex toys can bring back the spark in the bedroom?
I think that, of course, you need to talk first. If I think people who don't acknowledge in their relationship that there is some sort of dissatisfaction, that they would like change, I think that's when resentment just builds and builds and builds, right? If you don't talk about it, how are you going to change? If you're going to do nothing to change your situation, how are you going to change it? Just magically throwing toys on the bed is not going to fix your relationship, right? First, you got to talk about stuff. And then I think if there's a willingness and openness for both parties to acknowledge, like, okay, yes, we're not feeling so connected, or we're not feeling like the sort of joy and sexual satisfaction that we used to, and what can we do about it? And there's that willingness together to do something about it. I think toys can be one very helpful and interesting tool. And also toys actually lend themselves to communication, because many couples, while they're having sex, they don't talk. Like the lights are off and they're not really talking.
Doing it.
They're just doing it, or like they're a little awkward about talking about what's being done, giving instructions, And when there's toys involved, you kind of have to talk, like, especially if you're using them together. Like, should we use more lube? Where do you want this? Should I put it here? Should I increase the vibration speed? Should I, how will you do this without talking? Whereas often, like, sexual activity physically just happens in this kind of, you don't talk. Often people just assume and are awkward about it and don't talk as much. So it's a nice conversation starter. And also, I think trying anything together for that is a new thing, that is particularly all about pleasure, can stand to improve things, right? Or at least bring something new to the to the mix that
To the mix.
allows for you to hopefully tap into some of the spark that you maybe once had. So yeah, I can't say that they will solve all problems magically. You have to want to solve the problems firstly. I think both parties have to be open and willing to talk and willing to do this, go on this journey together. And then I think they can be a wonderful aid on that journey, most likely to bring back quite a lot of magic.
Not the age, that the upper limit, like can people who are in 50s or people who are in 60s can use
Of
these
course, dude, 50 is not even old. Of course, you can use them at 90, okay?
90s, yeah.
You can use toys, there's no upper limit. Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Now, talking just few safety tips about around sex toys, Lisa. Can you give us like some safety tips? So I put a story yesterday asking people what are few things that you want to know if you are someone already using sex toys. So I have like few questions. I would really want you to answer few of them. Okay. First is, for the first timers who are using the toys, okay, what is the first safety tip they need to keep in mind?
Toys are very safe, but it's nice to keep them clean. Wash your toys with soap and water after use, before use. I like to wash my toys, wipe them, keep them in a very clean place. Silicone toys are very, very easy to clean. It's a non-porous material, very easy to clean, and all our toys are washable. It's also, I prefer rechargeable toys, not from a safety standpoint, but just annoying to have to get batteries and annoying for your toy to die out, and then you don't have. So if they're rechargeable, just like you charge your mobile phone and things, it's always powered up and ready to go. But yeah, no, I think with most toys that are sort of external, for women particularly, I think they don't really cause discomfort. I think when using a penetrative toy, it's very important to recognize how comfortable you are with penetration.
Yes.
Use lube. Start with maybe the foreplay and the clitoral stimulation before. It's nice to have both toys. You can also, they're available in different sizes. Some people might like a bigger toy. Some people might like a smaller toy. So finding a size that seems that it would be comfortable for you, using lube. Any penetrative toys, those types of things tend to make the experience much more comfortable and fun if you're cognizant of the fact that lube is absolutely non-skippable. Even for the strokers, you have to use lube. You cannot use a male stroker without lube. Yeah, you cannot use it without lube. So these small things are keeping in mind the right way to use the toy. Read the manual, use lube. Even, with most toys, lube just makes things better. But with dildos or vibrators that are internal, with men's strokers, with butt toys, you have to use lube. Wash your toys. Yeah.
And about the wash, do you need to wash the toys using a soap or some other detergent or something, or just water is enough? Using
warm water and soap is good. We even make a toy cleaner called Squeaky Clean at Lizu's, but you can also use your mild hand wash or body wash or whatever you like. It's also okay. It's just that sometimes people have alcohol in their soap. There's different cleansers that have alcohol in them. You want to avoid anything with alcohol in it because some materials don't.
You have to be mindful about that.
Yeah, so we have the ingredients in our Squeaky Clean is particularly gentle and good for these materials. You know.
Next question: can these toys cause injury while using it?
You'd have to use it really badly for it to be look, it's like saying, can this coffee cup cause injury? If I break it and then drink it with the broken cup, it's going to injure me, If you do something dumb, you might cause not dumb. I don't mean to be rude, but anything can cause this microphone right now, if I hit my head into it, will cause an injury. If you want to injure yourself with a toy, you can injure yourself with a toy, but it's not easy to injure yourself. They're super smooth, super easy. The proportions are typically ergonomically designed for safe and easy usage. So you'd have to do something wrong to injure yourself, But I think anyone exploring butt stuff should just remember to always use a toy with a flared base. You shouldn't use toys that have no base because the butt doesn't have a wall at the end to stop it from going further in, unlike the vagina, which has a cervix. You can lose something in your butt. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Can we use sex toys during periods?
Yeah, of course. You can use sex toys during your period. You can even have sex during your period. It depends on your comfort level, right? It's what you're comfortable with. There's nothing inherently dirty or disgusting or gross about period blood. It's not like something bad's going to happen to you. if you use toys during your period. But some people might not be in the mood, or some people might. Some people find that it improves period cramps and
Yes.
like
A lot of
yeah.
women
Just
think
wash your toys after.
Now, the major question that even I had a doubt about, can we carry these sex toys at the airport, keeping in mind because there is a check-in, okay, like we have to check our stuff, and a lot of people are little shy about what if they catch us, will they ask us questions? So can we carry
Well,
these?
I carry my toys everywhere, and I've never had any problems. So, but I think if anyone has such a concern, I want to show you a toy we've designed, particularly with that in mind. Although I think all our toys are so discreet,
Right.
you know, most of our products don't look like something that. you
And
would
I
be
think
super
if we
embarrassed.
carry these
But
at the
look at
airport, I
this.
think no one
Yeah,
would
exactly.
even
No
know
one
anything.
cares.
Yes.
Even no one cares. I've even taken Jadu Garanasi, but look at this, Shanky. I'm very proud of this. Look at this. Looks like an AirPod.
What are you saying?
But it's a down there pod. So I've taken this in my hand baggage, man.
What are you-
nobody knows anything.
Can you please show me that?
Yeah,
This is
it's
so
so
cool.
cool.
It looks like an airbud. Oh, wow. This looks like an airbud.
Yeah, it's like, and it comes in a little case. So, like, this is so discreet. You can take it anywhere.
Wow. Because the whole idea is a lot of people, they are little shy about when if they
Exactly. And
ask
I understand
you.
that. I understand that. So, something like this is so discreet that literally you can even take it out of your bag, put it in the security tray, and no one is
No
going
one-
to care. I take all my toys everywhere and no one really cares. So I think often it's your own, like when you do something for the first time, you're feeling awkward about it. And so then you like worry about it. But as you said, with even Bijli or Pyari or something, I mean, you can take them in your hand baggage or you can check them in. And people have varying opinions on checking in battery operated products. But, you know, kind of like these don't have like massive, like computer charger type of batteries, right? It's more like a Kindle or something. I've checked in my Kindle or my Bluetooth headphones, and all over the world, different airlines have different policies on what you
Yes.
can and cannot check in. But honestly, I don't know whether the airlines are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I check in my toys all the time and have no
it's
problem.
completely safe and
It's
fine.
yeah, and when I've wanted to carry in hand baggage, that's also perfectly fine, and you are absolutely allowed to carry electronics in hand baggage, right? So yeah, no problem. I mean, I think there's some countries, if you're flying to the Middle East or something, maybe you want to.
You need to check.
No, I mean, I've flown everywhere with them. But technically, I think there's like a few countries in the world where you don't want to be in customs with sex toys. But here, yeah, no problems at all. So, or to Europe, the US, like, no, but I go everywhere, dude. I go everywhere with a lot of toys, never had an issue.
Great. Now, the last question, keeping in mind the safety and the other thing, like when we get the delivery of these toys at home, is it discreet or because a
Super
lot of people
discreet.
want to order it, but they think if I'm getting a delivery, there are parents at home or there are other people at home who might just check the delivery. And you know, Indian parents, they tend to open things what comes at. So
Yeah. No, so I understand the need for discreet delivery and sorry. We understand the need for discreet delivery, and so our shipping packaging is always just a plain brown box like any other e-commerce box, no name of the brand or product on the outside of the packaging. And I think that most brands in the space offer that because we recognize
Yes.
that customers want their privacy and
Right.
discretion. Yeah.
Perfect. So with that, Rita, thank you so much for giving us all this knowledge. I have a last round. I'm sure like you are not aware of this. So this is the rapid fire round. Okay.
Okay,
So there are a few
okay.
questions, last few questions, and we sum this up. So whatever, you know the rules of rapid fire round, whatever comes to your mind, just say it out. And it has to be as short as possible.
Oh man, I'm not good at that. I'll try. Just
Okay.
cut me off. Okay.
Perfect. So the rapid fire round sponsored by the Backstory Store. We have a small hamper, small gift for you after this.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So the first question, Lisa, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes, let's go. If sex toys could talk, what do you think they'd say?
क्या करो हाय कुछ कुछ होता है.
Oh, that is so good. Oh, that is so good. Next one. If you could invent a sex toy, what would it be?
I like to think that that's kind of what I'm in the midst of doing right now. I think it would be amazing to have a sex toy that could also somehow manage to teleport you to wherever your lover is. Because
Wow.
imagine if I could have like a sex toy that's also like a time machine.
Wow.
Never gonna happen. A girl can dream.
That is good. That is a good answer. What's your favorite fictional character who should have their sex toy? I have one in mind.
Okay, tell me.
Joey.
Oh my god. Okay.
From
How you
Friends.
doing? Yeah, you open the box and it goes, "How you
How
doing?"
you doing?
Yeah.
What do you think? What is it?
I can't think of someone right now, but I'll go with Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. What's the funniest sex toy review you have ever received?
Oh my god, I get the sweetest reviews. I get the best reviews. It makes my day, man. But I got an in-person review recently. I was
Please
at the
tell us.
airport. And this girl comes up to me. It was so sweet, like in public, in front of everybody. I love her for being so confident and completely unembarrassed. And she was like, Lisa, I want to tell you, I got Pyari. And Lisa, it was like Aladdin ka chirag. And I was like, that's so sweet, man. Because I know the feeling, but it was so sweet. Like, loudly, proudly, she was like, Pyari is like my Aladdin ka chirag.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, same girl, same.
I think that could be one of the names for your next sex toy.
So sweet, huh? I should really.
If you could go on a date with your sex toy, where would it be?
I'm like in my bed. I go on dates with my sex
Not,
toys all
no,
the time.
no, okay,
Oh.
not from your native, basically. Somewhere out, say a country that you want to explore, a new place that you want to explore with your sex toy. What would
Where
that
would
be?
I want to explore a new place with my sex toy? Dude, I explore only now. I've gone everywhere with my sex toys, so it wouldn't be so new.
Okay,
for
tell
me,
me
but
the
yeah.
one you've enjoyed the most, like one place where you've gone with your sex toy.
I
and
was in
that-
LA. In LA, cannabis is legal.
Yes.
I had some edibles. Anyway, I'm not promoting all these things that are bad for health. You should cut this. Anyway,
I love it. You can say it,
I
to
don't
be
want to
honest.
get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble.
You can actually say
Bad
it.
for you, kid. No, it's not bad. Actually, edibles. It's not even
And
bad for your lungs.
you're not
It's
talking
legal,
about,
okay?
and you're not talking about India. You're talking about LA. Again, LA
Okay,
is
I'll start the story again. I was in LA. Cannabis is legal. I had these beautiful chocolate edibles. Oh, sorry. Okay. I was in LA where cannabis is legal. And I had these really amazing edibles infused, these like chocolates that were infused. And I was in this really relaxed, beautiful space and with my toys just by myself. And it was amazing. It was a really nice. I'd gone on a work trip actually, but
amazing. So that was LA is
I
your
just have
place.
this because the fact that you could just walk into a store, buy this like these amazing gummies. The experience was like going
yes,
into the Apple store or something. So
Amazing.
that was it was nice to. I think both cannabis lifestyle products and sex toys have been stigmatized globally for so long, and now they're having this renaissance where these products that can stand to be very joy-giving and very relaxing and just like let you tap into your more creative sensual sides. It's wonderful that now in some parts of the world and even in India today they're getting so easy to access, and that experience of accessing them is also very joyful. Like
yes.
shopping from Lizu's is fun.
Yes.
Going to that edible store was so fun.
Yes.
You know, and so it was nice, and they're both categories I'm interested in. So I really enjoyed being in this
The
place where
combination
they
of
were
both.
so destigmatized. Yeah, and I have my own brand now with the toys, and there's some cannabis lifestyle brands in India also. And edibles are a wonderful thing because you're not smoking, it's not bad for your lungs. It's basically like having a candy almost. That has this really wonderful effect. So, and it never, you're never aggressive. Unlike alcohol, cannabis products have such calming, happy. So it's funny that alcohol is legal, but cannabis isn't in many parts of the world. But anyway, that was a big, long story, long way of saying that it can be fun to use toys when also, yeah, you get my drift.
You got it. What advice would you give to someone who is a little hesitant trying sex toy for the first time in one line?
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. Okay. One piece of advice to all the parents listening to this episode.
Don't be your kid's first bully. Don't clip their wings. Like, if you're going to make your love conditional, then what hope is there for them elsewhere? For most kids, and particularly Indian kids, the first stroll is your own family. And that is so sad. Why should I have to think twice before coming out as queer or before having some kind of relationship issue that I want to come to you for help, and instead I have to go some like source that's much less invested in my well-being. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Most parents are so no. Most kids are so afraid of their parents instead of being able to come to their parents with stuff about their identity, their health, their
Absolutely.
relationships. Don't be a bully to your kid, man, and don't judge your. Do not let your love be conditional. That's what I would say. Love them no matter who they are.
For partners who have never used sex toys, there's one partner who wants to use sex toy, the other partner maybe they have never explored that area. So how can they communicate about it?
You mean if one partner wants to and one partner doesn't want
No,
to?
no, the other partner does not have an idea about it. Like, say,
Oh.
I am with someone and I know about sex toys. The other partner has no idea. So,
Tell them to follow me. Go watch some of my videos.
yes,
Go to lisus.com together.
yes.
I mean, have fun, honestly. Yeah, just talk about it. Then I think that's the first start. And most people are curious. They've learned about it. Curious. How can you not be curious, you know?
I think that is, please follow Lisu.
Dude, follow me, man. Follow me. What are you doing if you're not following me and you're interested in sex toys?
Yes. Okay. Is dildo also a sex toy?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. One advice to everyone of how has your, or not an advice, one statement from your end to everyone, how has your experience been with regards to sex toys?
I mean, what? No caption necessary, right? My experience has been so life-giving that I even started my own sex toy brand because I've benefited so much from these products myself. So, I mean, my experience with toys has been fucking awesome.
So,
Yeah.
if you are here watching this and if you are open to using a sex toy, please go to leaseloose.com. Please tell them about your brand a little bit.
I mean, look, I think people should go on this journey themselves. But yeah, I'm very proud of the brand I've created. I think we make the best products in the country. And so if you are someone who's already interested in sex toys, then you should go check them out at leasus.com.
Perfect.
If you haven't yet made up your mind, you should read about toys, watch some of my content, check it out. Like, it's a whole universe, you know, it is a whole universe and it's a beautiful one.
Perfect. Thank you so much. With this, we end our rapid fire round. We have a small gift for you. So here is a small gift for you.
Thank you.
And there are a few
That's so
products
sweet.
inside from
Emotional baggage. That's so cute. Thank you.
So these are some of my products from my store.
Thank you. Look at that. That's so
I hope
sweet.
you like it. Please read that quote out loud.
If you ain't got dreams, what the fuck you got? Yes. How sweet. Oh, thank you. I love that. Journal and a postcard. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I hope you like that. And I think I'm also going to show them what I got in that bag.
Oh, yes. Your bag is over there. 1 second. The white bag?
Perfect. So these are some of the gifts. Oh, yes. I love reading books.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I have like a lot of books at my place. And this is
I
going
hope
to
you
be an
enjoy
addition.
it. My
This is
God.
one. I've got it.
The mic's making it hard to do this. You can put it on the floor. That's our card game. It might open from the bottom though.
Okay, let me just. These are the.
That's our Tan Mandil card game. It's a fun game to get to know each other better on a first date or like getting to know your partner better.
Okay, there are few
It's
more
really
products. I
cute.
want to see all of them.
That's Tufan. It's wrapped in
Okay,
gift
perfect.
wrapping.
I think we showed
you've
it
seen
to you.
them.
Yes,
Exactly, you've seen them.
and,
Sorry.
the next
You don't have to. That's love jelly, the lube.
The
That's
lube.
Can't use it without that. Yeah.
Perfect. With this, we come to the end of this episode. And thank you so much, Lisa, for being a part of this Ab Google Mat Karo Yaar. The whole idea of this series is that I want people to learn a lot from these episodes. And you've taught us a lot today, Lisa. I think, first of all, and this is not just for the sake of saying it because you have come to this episode, but personally, Lisa, you are really doing a great job. I think we need people like you who is bringing a change in this world. And I'm learning a lot from you. And I'm someone who really wants to bring same change in the society. And I think I'm just inspired with whatever you are doing. And thank you so much, Lisa, for everything that you have done for all of us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Perfect.
And thank you for your kind words. Means the world.
Perfect. With that, guys, this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. आई होप आपको ये एपिसोड पसंद आया हो, और अगर आपने इस एपिसोड से आज थोड़ा भी सीखा है तो हमारे चैनल को जाके सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और इस वीडियो को, इस एपिसोड को अपने फ्रेंड्स और फैमिली के साथ शेयर कीजिए, क्योंकि सेक्स का एजुकेशन लेना सभी का हक है।